Engage your abilities to inspire and positively impact lives effectively.
And we're here talking about being involved. Being engaged means being aware. Being engaged means being involved. Here's our lesson on being involved. Psalm 78:72 says, "But he shepherded them according to the integrity of his heart and guided them with the skillfulness of his hands." I like to think I tried to do my life with the skillfulness I have. I can't do everything. I'm not a great carpenter. I'm not a great woodworker. But yeah, I can do some stuff. And when I do the stuff, I can teach lessons and I can put thoughts together. And I can create these little videos and things like that. So I do what I do. What about you? Are you involved with what you can do? Maybe you are a great carpenter. Maybe you are a great metal worker. Maybe you are a good plumber. Maybe you're a great IT person. I don't know what it is, a lawyer. Whatever it is you do, to be involved with the skills and abilities that you've been given. Those words were written about David, the king of Israel. He wasn't always like that. This description leads us to believe that he was always a hands-on type leader. For the most part, he got into trouble, but he did get back to his hands-on leadership. He certainly was in the midst of war leading his men. At times, he had serious troubles with being absent and uninvolved. He had a tryst with Bathsheba that resulted in a son who died, and another son later, and a man that he killed. What a mess, and he betrayed his own men. But he kept coming back, taking what he learned and applying it. Everyday men are involved in their community, and they're involved in learning and overcoming mistakes to become stronger and better. One of the greats of biblical history is Isaiah. He served under multiple kings. He served good kings and bad kings. He served good leaders and bad leaders. At a key juncture, Hezekiah became king, and Isaiah came alongside and coached Hezekiah. Hezekiah was a young man, 25 years old. And Isaiah came along and coached him and the men who were with him, and they changed the whole nation. Hezekiah stood his ground until he had that day to lead the way he knew leadership needed to lead. Isaiah 37, so the servants of Hezekiah came to Isaiah. And Isaiah said, "You will say to your master, thus says the Lord, don't be afraid of the words which you've heard, which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Surely I will send a spirit upon him. He'll hear a rumor, and he'll return to his own place. And I'll cause him to fall by a sword in his own land." And that's exactly what happened. And Hezekiah had the wisdom to listen to Isaiah. Isaiah was involved. He was involved when things were bad. He was involved when things were good. And his involvement turned the whole fate of the nation. We want to be Isaiah men. A dad was taking one of his teens to a concert, and on the way back from the concert, that teen just broke down and started talking about he'd been getting into drugs and he didn't want to go that direction. But his dad was involved in being there and had spent time with him walking and biking and doing other things. So when it became critical, dad was there, and the transition to a better life forward was made. Malachi says it this way, "I'll send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming and great and dreadful day of the Lord. He will turn the hearts of the father to the children, and the hearts of the children to the father, lest I come and strike the earth with the curse." Everyday men are involved with their children. Everyday men are involved at work, in their community, in their career. As a leader at work, I've had to listen and get to listen to the lives of staff. Doesn't always work, but sometimes that open involvement pays off. One worker struggled to be consistent in attendance. Company policy said I should just fire them, set them up. 1, 2, 3, you're out of here. But I thought there was something great potential with this person, and I worked with them, and they worked with me and agreed to call me if things were going to go wrong. And over time, they became real consistent and became a great addition in one of the areas that we needed to grow, that others weren't necessarily real great at, because we stayed involved as individuals. Everyday men are involved. One of my heroes is a guy named Danny. Danny came to a workshop on thinking skills, and he'd had a rough life leading up to that point. Was kind of disconnected from a child that he'd had while he was in prison. He didn't know it was his child. And Danny just kept paying attention and showing up. He'd come to workshops that he wasn't a part of. And when he got off of night shift and was working day shift, he called me and said, "Hey, can I come to your workshops and be there to be a help?" So he became an example to others to look at and say, if he can do it, I can do it. I love that. He became involved for years in a place where I was working. I don't work there anymore, but he was there every time. Showed up. So let's examine ourselves for a minute. Where do you need to be more involved in the lives of those you lead or influence? What's the best use of your time this week to be rightly involved in the lives of those closest? What is the best use of your time to be rightly involved in the lives of those closest? Is there some community involvement that you need to explore, that you need to get yourself connected with? Father, guide my involvement. Help me to see clearly the right relationships and right level of involvement in each. Teach me the work of a man guided by your hand to be involved in the lives of those you want me to influence. Teach me to be involved in the lives of those who will be there for me at times I need someone to be involved. Whether we turn to the right or the left, we'll hear your voice saying, go this direction. You are here to lead us. Remember, I love you and I appreciate you.